Hi, this is Sally. I'm going to be showing you how to do a stack of pancakes with cheese and spinach and tomato. Also, I like to put prosciutto. So, let's get started. In here is 175 grams or 6 ounces of flour. It should be plain flour, but today I'm using all-purpose. I have a pinch of salt. When I've measured it out, it's usually 1/8 of a teaspoon, depending on how accurate your measurements are. And then I have here 450 milliliters of milk, which is 3/4 of a pint of milk. I'm just going to pour that in like that and then whisk it. I find if I put the milk in first and then the eggs, it usually goes in a bit easier. Whisk until it's smooth, and then I'm just going to put 2 eggs in as well. Whisk until it's all incorporated, no lumps. Here we go, nice and smooth. I'm going to let that stand for about 15 minutes, which means I can get the rest of the recipe prepared. I like to use a moderate sized pan. It's 8 inches across at the base here, or about 20 centimeters. You could use a wider pan if you wanted. I also put butter in mine, and you could use olive oil or a mild tasting oil for this part. Once it starts to warm through, just take it across the base of your pan until all of it is covered with oil or butter. I also like to use a pan that has a very firm base so that it's got good contact. I think that's almost hot enough. The first pancake is usually not that good, and I'm using a 1/3 cup to pour in an equal amount per pancake, and then just pour that over. In the first one I usually have a little bit too much oil just to get it started, and because it's even covering, it should start cooking all at the same rate. As it cooks, you'll see it starts curling up at the side. That's normal, and then when it starts raising in the middle here, that's when it's cooked properly and you can flip it. Now some people want to flip it over, and other people might just want one side of their pancake cooked. Personally, I like both sides to have a nice good colour to them. After a few minutes, it comes away from the base and flip it over. And that's a nice even colouring. Sometimes they go a bit darker, but I prefer them to not be any lighter than that. Check to see what the underside is doing. It looks fine. And I'm going to just put the first one in the base of this pan here. I'm not going to worry about putting any butter or oil on the bottom of this pan because it's already got the oil from the pancake. I'm going to set my next pancake up. Ooh, nice and sizzly this time. If the butter goes a little bit brown, don't worry about it. As long as it's not totally burnt, you're fine. See, the pan is still hot enough for me to tilt this and get it into place. I'll turn the heat down just a little bit. This one shouldn't take so long to cook because the pan's already hot enough, and it should turn out quite nice. Now while this one is cooking, I'm using Prego for this recipe, and I'm just going to put a couple dessert spoons on there, spread it out nice and thin like this to the edges, just like a pizza really. I would prefer a shallower pan, but this one works. Now I'm going to put a couple of pieces of tomato, just a few bits around the outside like that. I'm also going to put some spinach on. Now some people might want to cook their spinach. Personally, I like to have all the goodness from the spinach in the dish. So put a layer of spinach on like that, and then I'm going to put a few ribbons of prosciutto on here too. Spread it out so it's more or less even. It won't really matter because you're doing this on each layer, therefore the tastes will go all the way through. Just spread a little bit of cheese around it as well. You could use Feta cheese or Wensleydale or even Cheddar. This is a Mexican style blend, so it's got Monterey Jack, asado, quesadilla and mild cheddar. I prefer a stronger cheddar, and that's that layer. You could actually use ham if you wanted instead of the prosciutto. That is also up to you, but make sure it's nice and thin. You don't want anything thick. When the second pancake is ready, just lay that on top. Oops, a daisy. Mind your fingers because it is a little bit hot. There we go. Make sure it's as even as possible over there. Put the butter in. I think I might need a little bit more butter than that. Not by very much, just a little bit. My next cup of batter, make sure that that's evenly distributed because you want it as flat as possible. It's already starting to cook, and then you can turn your attention back to your stack as you put it all together. You don't have to use all the batter. You could just put maybe 5 or 6 pancakes on your stack. It's up to you. And I can see that it needs a little bit of building up around the outside edge here, so I will do that. The sliced tomatoes kind of keep everything where they need to be. I'll put those around. You could put put onion in here and just layer everything like you did before. I usually stack where it's a little bit lower so that the pancakes don't slide off. It's quite a nice easy recipe. Spread it all around, put some more cheese on here. While you are putting this together, put the oven on at 350 degrees Fahrenheit, which is 180 centigrade or gas mark 4 if you're in England. Something you can do after a while is you push down on there because it will melt the cheese. It won't be so high in the center, and then prepare for the next one. You need the oven to be hot for a little while so that the air in there is all equalized, and just carry on stacking. Each pancake usually takes 3 to 4 minutes to cook. I always do it in tandem, making the pancakes and stacking it so it saves time. Some people might want to make all the pancakes in one go and then do the stack. Personally, I just prefer to do it this way. All about saving time when you've got kids. I won't put it further over there because that's too hot. Just finish it off with a bit of cheese on the top like that, and I have some pieces of tomato just to go on here to decorate it. I might put some more cheese on actually. There we go. And now I'm going to pop this into the oven. It's already got to 350 and I'm leaving it there for 25 to 30 minutes. Just taking it out of the oven. It's kind of settled a little bit, but oh, the aromas are lovely. I'm going to let it cool down a little bit. I'm really pleased with it actually. Now this you can eat hot or cold. It's really nice cold. It allows all the flavours to mature if you eat it a day later, but it'll be fine for tonight. Once it's cooled a little bit, I'll cut it up so you can see what it looks like inside and plate it. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope the video gives you an idea of what you can do with pancakes other than just putting lemon and sugar on them or syrup. If you want to hear more from me, please subscribe, hit the bell button, and a few thumbs up would be absolutely excellent. And in the meantime, see you later. Take care. Ciao.